This trick has taken Juggle Man 4,000 hours to perfect. It has stacked up YouTube revenue of $1.13. Fortunately, Juggle Man's goal is not to make money, but to spread the word that juggling is cool. This old wheezy juggler has learned something new. Most people learn to juggle 3 balls or clubs in the same basic cascade patterns. Is this the only way? No! Let's put a stop to that. Juggle Man's going to show you 3 new ways to juggle clubs and balls. Why not be different? The first way is called the W. Here's what it looks like with balls. The second way is called underthrows, and it'll help you to learn 4 balls. Third one we're going to examine is called 4-2-3 tennis. Sure, you're going to say, what's cool about those patterns? Well, you can learn them with clubs too. Let's look at the W. There's several advanced juggling tricks based on the W pattern. Try this with 2 balls. Throw a ball across and force the other ball to go straight up. Naturally do it on both sides. With 3 balls out of a cascade, do this same thing, wearing cheap sunglasses. You'll notice the middle ball is the only ball switching hands. You can see in the video that the hand that throws the ball across then does a rest while the middle ball visits the other hand. Hey, I wonder why they call this the W pattern. Although it's slow and boring, it really does lead to other tricks. And yes, that'll take more practice. Now the dinosaur has grabbed 2 clubs. Try making slow single throws and duplicate the previous exercise. Catch the club nearer to the knob and use more arm and less wrist to make the single spin turn slower. The crossing club should be in the air before you throw the second club. As with balls, you don't make the throws simultaneous. Separate the throws. It will feel rushed if you don't throw high, slow singles. Out of the cascade, be ready for your second throw that goes straight up to have some loft. This is not an easy pattern with clubs. Juggling rules. Every time you catch the outside club, bring it down so that you're ready for the returning club that is going back and forth in the W pattern. Once you perfect the W, you will feel you have enough time to do a trick with that club during its pause. Watch Juggle Man's right hand do a cool reverse throw, adding an extra throw to the pattern. Some jugglers will find doing the W pattern with double spins is slower and easier. It does slow the pattern down, but can force you to rush the release of the double throw. A real challenge is to go from singles to doubles and back down to singles in the W. If anybody's still watching, please comment if you found this to be difficult. Now Juggle Man, who's so old he orders off of kids' menus, is demonstrating pattern number 2. As with the W pattern, the middle ball goes back and forth. This time, instead of throwing the outside ball up on the outside of the incoming ball, you throw it under and straight up to the same hand. If you can do the 4-ball fountain, this pattern will feel much easier than the W pattern. That's because that underthrow is just like a fountain throw. This is a great trick for learning 4 balls. Remember, the same ball goes back and forth. And now it's time for the man with the tiny hat to practice pattern number 2 with clubs. Remember, underthrows with clubs are also a great practice for learning 4 clubs. Were you at a prison? You should also be practicing 2 clubs in one hand and circles going from inside out. Naturally, you want to do it on both sides. Juggle Man, that left hand looks weak. This pattern should feel more natural and easier than the W pattern. Those underthrows feel like the 4-club fountain. It's like juggling 4 clubs with training wheels. Hey, that's not funny. The third pattern is the 4-2-3 tennis pattern. Don't confuse it with the cascade tennis pattern. It's similar in that the same ball is going back and forth, but in 4-2-3, the outside balls are staying in the same hands. So the back and forth ball goes over the top of the other ball, and then that ball goes straight up and stays in the same hand. It's really an inverse of the W. The back and forth ball is always going over the top of the up and down balls. Out of a regular cascade, try doing 2 throws back and forth, keeping those outside balls in the same hand. Of course, Silver Dome's going to try pattern number 3 with clubs. This is the most challenging pattern in this video. And don't confuse it with that cascade tennis pattern. So lame. The back and forth single has to travel a long way. I hope you like this messed up video. Juggling rules. Please remember to subscribe, comment, and be cool.